I was kind of amazed when I saw the Wall Street Journal article, which essentially quoted a convicted felon and didn't bother to check any other resources. And I thought, what kind of journalism is this? Besides the apparent slandering of Oklahoma, they didn't even bother to check with the Supreme Court ruling on that issue of TABOR, which very specifically said that there were not enough valid signatures, directly contradicting what they wrote in their op-ed. And then I saw Steve Forbes's article, his commentary, and he was essentially parroting what the Wall Street Journal had said the week before, and apparently also did not check any of his sources because he repeated the same lies or mistakes, probably not lies, but misinformation. And I know about this to look for invalid signatures. We found an amazing number. Just almost a third of them were invalid. Mickey Mouse's and Marilyn Monroe's, and it was an incredible experience. Interesting in that TABOR almost killed Colorado when they passed it in Colorado. And then I looked up the money. Where does the money come from? Follow the money. And it appears that about $3,000 came from Oklahomans, and $7 million came from these think tanks in Virginia and Illinois and 6 or 7 other different places outside of Oklahoma. And they then brought in all of these kids who are professional circulators, paying them anywhere from $1 to, at the end, they were paying $3 a signature, and they were not Oklahoma residents. And the law clearly states, as Drew Edmondson said, you must be an Oklahoma resident. So they didn't check their sources, neither the Wall Street Journal nor the Forbes magazine editor, Steve Forbes. If they did, they ignored them because they would have found out that many of the things in their commentaries were just patently false. We worked in the Devon Energy building, and it became apparent after a couple of months that we were not going to be able to finish in time. There was just way too much work to do. So they, people who funded this kicked in another $100,000 or so, and we hired and set up a computer room with like 40, 50 computers, and hired people 8 hours a day, and then another crew 4 hours at night to go through these signatures. We trained them. I was still a volunteer. All these kids were, and adults and amazing, just ordinary citizens were paid, I believe, minimum wage, or maybe $7 or $8 an hour. I don't remember now what they were paid. And it was an amazing experience, but we did get it done, and we did prove, and the Supreme Court said that there were not sufficient signatures on the petition, that there were too many invalid signatures. Also, we found many sheets that were notarized, petitions that were notarized by people who were not allowed to notarize. And either their notary period had run out, or they weren't notaries at all.
So, everything aside, all the illegalities, all the, everything, there weren't even enough signatures.
There weren't enough signatures, not enough valid signatures. And the Supreme Court decision, that's almost exactly verbatim what they said. There were not enough valid signatures.